All right, let's talk about the new Las Vegas Raiders quarterback. And I have to say, as someone who is kind of a fan of the Raiders, back when this channel was very small, I started making some Raiders videos, and Raiders fans help prop up the channel. So because of that, I always have a soft spot in my heart for Raiders Nation. And I'm excited for the Raiders here with Geno Smith, who I think the Raiders fans, quite frankly, don't realize how good of a quarterback they're going to get. And that's why I wanted to make this video, just to talk about what he can do so effectively. I really do feel like he's been one of the more underrated quarterbacks in the league these past couple years. And let's talk about what he does well. First, starting off with a play like what you see on your screen. It's a zone coverage concept where Smith is going to roll out towards the top of the screen, and you have some other routes going in that direction. Watch. Runs the play action, goes in that direction. Ideally, those deeper routes are ones that can get open and get the ball further down the field, right? That's what you usually want to have happen, but neither one of these are really open. Miami kind of has those covered pretty well. However, the more underneath route is open, so Geno Smith is going to do what any good game manager does. Watch as he reads this play effectively, flips it underneath. Do they gain a ton of yards here? No. But what Geno Smith is going to do that a lot of quarterbacks, even veteran quarterbacks, aren't as good at, is making the correct play. And sometimes that's just what you need, is, again, move the ball down the field. Be a game manager. It is not an insult to be a game manager. Because let's go over to a play like this. While that last one isn't exactly going to set the world on fire, this one, okay, it might not set the world on fire. We don't want the world on fire, but it's going to be a good play. So what's going to happen is you have a zone coverage concept, and essentially you just have one receiver run a route to try and clear out some space. The other receiver follows him. Every now and then the first route is open, but usually it's the second route that gets open. And watch how, when this play begins, you see that the setup route mostly works. There is going to be a window right there, and you see how Smith is going to essentially have to throw with anticipation and time this really well. And that's exactly what he does. Again, perfectly timed, gets it there, and they're able to pick up a first down on that, well-timed and well-read play by Geno Smith. These aren't highlight reel level plays, and that's why you're never going to see something like this really set the world on fire. Or again, it's not going to be the biggest play you'll ever see, but at the same time, these are really important plays to have a quarterback be able to make, and it really sometimes can be the difference in winning and losing football games. Also, heading over to something like this, I think this is an important aspect of Geno Smith. I know that the numbers aren't great with the Seattle Seahawks, the box score numbers, which I'm not as into with box score stats because I always feel like those are team stats, not individual stats. But it has to be mentioned when you watch Geno Smith tape how often you see stuff like this, where watch the two interior defensive linemen for the Dolphins. They're going to run a stunt right here, and watch just how quickly they are going to get to Geno Smith. That play did not develop, and there are way too many pre-3-second pressures that just Geno Smith has to figure something else out, has to just take the sack because that's the best play. Way too many of that for the Seattle Seahawks. So for the Raiders, again, I do think that you might be getting a better player than you perhaps realize. And quite frankly, just being able to keep him upright, I do think that I wouldn't say the Raiders' offensive line is perfect, but I think it's solid, and I think that it's certainly an upgrade from what you're dealing with in Seattle. So I think that's definitely an important aspect here. But also, I want to go over here now. Let's talk about this play, because there's another aspect of Geno Smith that he doesn't really get credit for. I called him a game manager earlier, but he's not just a game manager. He is a good game manager, but there is the complete other side of football, which is how are you as a playmaker? When the play as designed doesn't work out, can you make something else happen? Well, on this play, you're going to see some issues are going to arise right here. First, okay, down the field, nothing is open just yet. Okay, that is what it is. But here's the other issue. Aiden Hutchinson is playing in this game, and he is doing what Aiden Hutchinson does. He is generating a pressure. So nothing open yet. Geno Smith's in trouble. This is a situation where, let's just be honest, Aiden O'Connell is not making a good play happen here. He just isn't. However, watch as Geno Smith is going to be able to navigate the pocket, finds an open receiver, hits him, and picks up a first down. Again, these things are really important in a football game and are oftentimes the difference in how you win and lose football games. And while his him becoming a solid game manager, okay, that's not that crazy that it happened, right? Sometimes you pick that up later in your career, sure, that makes sense. But the fact that he's become also this really good playmaker is something that just does not get talked about a lot, but is a very true thing with Geno. And also, playmaking can come in many different forms. Something like this, where it's going to be a zone coverage play, and they're going to look towards DK Metcalf. Geno Smith's going to look towards DK Metcalf, towards the offense's left, kind of underneath the zone coverage, right? Well, when he does, he looks over, and listen, could he make this throw if he wants to? He could, but it's not the play that he loves. And so what Smith is going to instead, the corner is coming in, trying to make a play. So what Smith is going to instead do is look towards a route that's more underneath towards the other side of the field. Okay, that's a fine thing to do, right? But what I like about this from Smith is how quickly he gets over there. Watch how almost in an instant he gets over, makes that throw, and listen. I don't even know if it worked out that much better than if he just threw it to DK Metcalf. But I think you do that 100 times, it will work out better more often than not. And again, the ability to just get over there and to make a read like that, that's what you like to see from someone like Geno Smith. Now, we got to talk about the negatives. The biggest negative is just the turnovers. 15 interceptions last year is too much, and while some of those are always going to be fluky, that's just how football works. The reality is, it felt like one play a game, he just lost his mind and did something stupid. And this was that play in this game. He actually had 3 interceptions in this game, but, this was the worst one. You're going to see that he takes the snap, he looks over, and there's pressure that comes. He is under pressure at this point, so, okay, probably not the time to make a throw. Also, you see, it looks like that's his intended target, and again, you can almost understand why you'd throw up a jump ball, but there's other traffic in the area. This is very clearly a throw the ball away situation on a first down. That's what you want to try and figure out a way to do. Instead, it looks like he was trying to make that throw, and just there was a Rams player there. That Rams player actually returns it for a touchdown. I'm not going to show the whole thing, but really, that's just a bad play, right? And this is definitely a part of Geno Smith's game, is he will make some bad plays. You do have to live with that, although I would still say, consistently, the good outweighs the bad for Geno. I think he's a good quarterback, and I think in a good situation with now good receivers and a better pass-blocking offensive line, we could see him even be better than we've seen him in the past couple years. But yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching. Hey, thanks for watching to the end of that video. I do appreciate it. If you want to see my other channel, Jackson Kruger Movies, where I talk about movies, give some film reviews and stuff like that of a different kind, if that seems like your kind of thing, the link is in the description below for that, as is the link for my Twitter account. I'm at Jackson Kruger, so give me a follow on there if that's your kind of thing. And also, of course, remember to hit the subscribe button on this channel. I do always appreciate it. And thanks again for watching to the end of the video.